iPadOS 27 just dropped at WWDC. I spent the whole night testing all of it, and this is my honest breakdown. iPadOS 27 is not a dramatic redesign like the iPadOS 26, as it made the iPad look and feel more like a Mac. I talked about my iPadOS 27 wishlist on my second channel, and it's of course not the same as I've expected. They just did the bare minimum. It's a very boring update on paper, but actually meaningful in daily usage. Apple is betting on three things, making the iPad faster, smarter, and way more personal. I'm Prithwiraj, and here's what's new in iPadOS 27. Before everything else, I would like to share the feature I love the most about the new update. The Photos app got 3 new editing tools powered by Apple's upgraded AI models. So when I open any photo, and on the toolbar, we get a new set of tools to use from Cleanup, Extend, and Reframe. Cleanup is basically like object remover. I can remove someone standing in the background of a shot I took, and it handled that cleanly. Extend, and this is the one I really love the most. Think of this like generative fill. You can extend your photos beyond the original shot, and this one is really sick. Thus my favorite, as you can see. Reframe is also very interesting. The idea is that you can rotate the angle of a photo. It's almost like the spatial photos from visionOS. It's really impressive, as you can see. The ambition is really high on this one, and this alone impressed me. Apple Intelligence is finally becoming capable. We also have more new Apple Intelligence features, but we'll talk about them a bit later. But first, let's address the biggest app update Apple has made so far, and it's the new Siri. But I have to be honest with you here, I couldn't fully test it out yet, as when you go to settings and opt into new Siri, they will put you in a waitlist. So the second it activates on my iPad, I will do a dedicated follow-up video. So this is supposed to be a rebuild, conversational Siri that behaves like a real AI assistant living inside your iPad. And not just set reminder at 5 PM kind of thing, more like summarize this PDF and turn it into bullet points so I can send it to my team. It's deeply wired into Spotlight, search, and system actions. Apple had struck a deal earlier this year to use Google's Gemini models to power a lot of it. Siri AI also syncs your conversation history across all your devices through iCloud, so you can start a chat on your iPhone, then continue it on your iPad, and finish it later on your Mac privately. There is an iPad-specific twist to visual intelligence as well. On iPad, Apple built it right into the screenshot flow. You take a screenshot and then ask Siri about what's on the screen, search it visually, and take actions from there. That's a smart fit for how you actually can use a bigger display. And the writing tools got upgraded everywhere you type, drafting full text from a description, learning how to write matching your tone, and proofreading automatically as you go. Beyond Siri itself, Apple Intelligence is threaded throughout the system. Mails get smarter search ranking, and Siri drafting emails using her personal context. Apple Calendar now finally lets you create and edit events in plain language. Change every week to every other week just by saying that. I used to love Todoist for this exact same feature, and thankfully it's now here on Apple Calendar. Now speaking of customization, a few smaller wins worth knowing. Liquid Glass is more customizable. There is a slider to set how clear or how tinted you want the interface. And when you customize your home screen, you finally get undo and redo buttons. So when you make a change and you hate it, you can simply undo. Small but a long overdue. Sound controls got split up. For years, one slider control your ringtone, alarms, and alerts all together. You can uncheck that and set independent volumes as per a category, so the alarm stays loud while your alerts go quieter. The battery indicator got a rounder, more playful look, and Apple Maps got a gorgeous 3D city renderings. Zoom into a city and you'll see real details, down to how the sunlight hits the buildings. But as you might have expected, so far it's kind of an US only thing and not globally. So leaving that aside, let's talk about performance and the numbers real quickly, as Apple has made some bold new announcements. But before that, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'll keep bringing you more such iPad related content. In iPadOS 27, apps launch up to 30 times faster, photos land in your library up to 70% faster, and AirDrop is up to 80% faster. I'm a bit skeptical about the AirDrop part because sometimes it just doesn't even work. But in real use case on the beta one, app launches genuinely feel snappier, first party and third party apps both. But being very honest, I couldn't really tell if the AirDrop was any faster. I guess it's gonna be better over time, but as of now, it feels more or less the same. The one I was most hyped about, Apple says file transfers on the iPad are up to 5 times faster, basically on par with Finder on the Mac. On device, moving files around does feel faster, but when connecting to an external drive, it still takes a lot of time on beta 1. So we are not there yet, it's gonna take time once again. There is also a rebuilt CPU scheduler that's meant to make even older iPads feel responsive, plus smoother system animations across the board. The animation smoothness is subtle, but you feel it swiping between home screen pages. Apple has rebuilt the entire search index behind Spotlight, so we get more faster and more comprehensive results. One important heads up, if you install the beta, the second you update, your iPad will start to re-index everything, and that takes a long while. Search will feel broken and incomplete until that finishes. So if you're gonna update, let the index sink in overnight before you actually adjust that. And now this is the part iPad power users will feel every single day. The menu bar stays permanently visible if you want it to, instead of appearing when you reach out for it. The active app name shows in the status bar, so you always know what's focused, and the window controls got refined with tighter corner radii, toolbars that sit cleanly to the left instead of floating over your content. None of these are flashy. All of them chip away the little friction points that made people say iPad wasn't really a real computer. And Safari also got an useful upgrade. It organizes your tabs automatically, grouping them by topic, research tabs, shopping tabs, work tabs. So if you work on your iPad like myself, this is a very helpful addition. There is also a feature called Describe an Extension. It's basically simple. You can describe the Safari extension you want in plain language, and Safari will build a custom one right for you. That can be really handy. And Notify Me, which can watch a page for you and alerts you when it changes. Both of these lean heavily towards the Apple Intelligence side of things. Image Playground got a visual refresh and a more capable model that does photorealistic styles running on Apple's private cloud compute. It works fine with dictation. Describe a photo, it builds it, and it's a massive step up from the scary looking early days. One thing to expect, the generation is capped at a set number of images per day, the way most AI image tools work, and Genmoji got an update as well. Shortcuts have been quite complicated for the most part. So if shortcuts have always intimidated you because it feels like coding a weird UI, this update fixes that. You can simply tap on the plus button instead of dragging actions around. You just have to describe what you want in plain English. So now you can simply describe something like this. We simply have to type it in natural language, something like send a text to a specific person every day at 2 p.m. and also you can share your current location, and it will generate a whole new shortcut for you. For anyone who avoided automation on the iPad, this is the time to do it. Alright, this one can help if you have a kid and you want to hand him or her the iPad. Apple overhauled this whole area. Kids can be required to ask permission before visiting a website they have never been to or messaging someone new. There is a redesigned screen time dashboard and setup assistant for kids' devices, along with communication safety that blurs nudity, gore, and violent content in shared media. Apple also finally built a proper support website, something parents generally never had before. Alright, this is important because not every iPad will get everything. The headline AI features are gated by RAM. A base M4 iPad Pro with 8 gigs of RAM won't get the same Siri features. The M4 iPad Air made the cut this year because Apple bumped that to 12 gigs, and the most powerful on-device model is reserved for more capable iPhone, iPad, and Mac hardware, meaning only the devices running on the latest Pro and Air chipsets. I'm on the M5 iPad Pro, so I'm getting the full feature set. If you're on a recent Pro or the Air, you're set. If you are on an older or the base iPad model, expect performance and design changes, but not the full AI suite. iPadOS 27 isn't built to wow you in a demo. It's built to make your iPad feel better 6 months from now on, faster, smarter, and less in your way. The catch is the timing. The single biggest feature, Siri AI, is locked behind a waitlist, and the flashy photo tools are clearly something noteworthy, but they are gonna surely improve over time. Currently, I'm on the developer beta. Public beta will most likely land in July. I'll do a full follow-up the moment Siri AI activates on my iPad. But all in all, the iPad is such a powerful machine. I literally use it to run my entire life on it, starting from my daily tasks and even my finances. If you'd be interested in how I do that, then click here on this video, and over there I have shared how I manage my entire life on my iPad. See you there.